Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm in the office Tuesday afternoon, paying bills, taking care of business, mind, body, and soul. This is how we get through. Let's talk about the in-between time. There's this in-between time of when you're not quite there yet, but you're not who you used to be. You're on your way. You've launched your boat. You've sailed away from the shore, off to the new land. And you're pretty far away from where you left. So far away where going back seems fairly difficult. But you're not there yet. And you don't really know, because this is a new journey. You don't really know where that other shore is, where the new land is. Is it coming today, tomorrow, 6 months, a year? Where is it? And as you're looking out with your periscope to find the new land and not seeing anything every day, you look out to try to see where the destination is. You never see it. Maybe you start to question the journey. Was this a good idea? Was this stupid? And this happens when you're on your path of personal growth, personal development. When you're leveling up, there's that weird area in between levels where you're not like you were when you started. And maybe you don't vibe with your friends anymore, your old friends, your toxic friends, those losers. And you've moved on and they haven't. And maybe they even said to you, my friends told me one day, you've changed, man. And they were bummed on it. They were not happy that Sky was trying to get his life together. They were not happy that I went sober. Nobody was congratulatory, no one. And you keep going forward. And there's going to be that time, you're going to reach a point, the in-between time, when you start to question everything. And this was really hard for me because I didn't just simply go sober. I changed who I was from what I considered like a criminal lowlife into a normal citizen. And as I got further and further away from the streets and from that life and did everything I can to separate myself from those people and everything about it, and I come from a family of this stuff. So it's not like, oh, I just won't text Billy anymore. I have to cut off my family, cut off a whole part of me. It was scary because I'm giving up lifelong connections. Giving up a side of me that I've known and developed and cultivated since I was a little boy, since I was 10 or younger. It's all I've ever known. Going off into the unknown with this version of me that I don't really know who I am anymore and what I'm turning into. Whereas before it was very clear. Drug addict, criminal, gangster, whatever. I had my little boxes checked. And I remember thinking about how I was far enough away from the streets. This was years ago, but I remembered being far enough in my journey to where I no longer had my connections, my real connections. The connections to make money. I was out of the loop. I was gone. And it felt like there was no going back. Who knows? But it was a really weird place to be. And I felt weak. I started to question the whole thing. Well, maybe this is not a good idea. Because I don't like feeling weak, and I don't like going into the unknown. I don't like to leave my comfort zone. I don't like the possibilities of failure, of making the wrong choices. And when you're in that in-between time, these types of anxieties and fears can come up. You start to question everything. Was this the biggest mistake I ever made? Was to try and get my life together. What did I do? Now I'm nothing. Well, let's talk about what you do. I think I paint the picture enough. I could go on, but you have to keep grinding forward, and this comes with discipline. Motivation is one thing. I haven't always been so motivated to be this new version of myself, to be stronger, to be the best me. There's not a lot of motivation to do that in the mornings. So I really have to rely on discipline. And that's doing things you don't want to do, but you do it anyways, because you know you have to. And you know that there's a pot of gold at the end of that rainbow. You know there's a payoff. So you want to keep grinding forward, and you want to keep disciplined in your daily lifestyle management, in your mind, body, and soul program. And I talked about this in another video. I talk about this in a lot of videos. In this in-between time, when you're leveling up, when you're really trying to do it and become the best version of yourself, you can't soften up on your program, because you will slide backwards. You have to go hard. Harder than before. You're praying harder now than you did when you started. And when you started, you might have been a drug addict, homeless, and you really had some tears in your eyes. You were suffering and you were really begging for being saved. You got to go harder than that now, on a whole nother level. It gets more complex. And the way you handle it is through that discipline. Just keep grinding forward through it. You read a passage in the book, whatever book you read, and you don't understand it, it doesn't matter. Maybe you'll get it in a week. You'll be in the shower, and all of a sudden, that paragraph you read will click, and you'll be like, oh, well, there you go. Just keep going forward. Now you're going to have to accept some things. Acceptance is key. Acceptance is detaching from what we want, going with what our intuition thinks, giving up on some of the desire, the hedonistic desire, giving up on that childlike bullshit that we are always holding on to. You just go with the flow. I talk about Eastern philosophy and the Taoist philosophy of Wu Wei, non-action through action. Bruce Lee talks about being like water. And you're going to have to be able to enjoy solitude. That's another thing you're going to have to be able to enjoy, is just being alone, because you're going to drift away from those toxic, negative, go nowhere, do nothing, dingbat idiots that you used to hang out with, whether it's family or friends or whoever. You have to be willing to let the old version of you die. Stop holding on to it. Stop saying things, this is the way I've always been. Well, not no more, you're not. You're getting rid of all that crap. How did that, I've always been this way, how did that work out? That's what broke you, right? Thinking that you knew everything. It's time to humble up. And be willing to let that weak version of yourself wither off, so you can grow the new bud on the branch. And you have to stay focused. You have to spend time solidifying your goal. That's your destination. Every morning you'll wake up choosing a direction. You're going to go towards your destination. Your destination is your goal. Your meaning and your purpose in your life is to not reach it, that'd be great, but to go towards it. and you see your son turn away from evil, going towards good, the action of going towards it, of turning away, of the rejection of the self-destruction and the harm and the fear, going towards the light and the love, that directed action is what it's all about. Of course, you want your son to reach it someday, but it's the motivation. You can die satisfied knowing that they're going in the right direction. So you want to stay focused towards this future version that you're working towards every day. Stay focused on that every day. Especially in this in-between time. And you may be questioning everything. Should I turn back? Should I go back being that person that I'm more comfortable with, that I know? You know, because that reality, if you play it out in your mind, go back to in your head for a second of who you used to be. I play this game. And that timeline, because that's a different timeline that I'm on now. That timeline, the old man version of me, that whole life is pretty easy to see. I could see who I was going to be. It was pretty clear what my path was going to be. Death or prison. And I'd seen other people like my father and others go these routes. And I was going to be no different. Whereas on this timeline, that I've changed, I'm going into the unknown. I don't really know where I'm going to end up. I don't know how great I'm going to be. I don't know what God has in plan for me. And that's the final thing I want to mention with this, is that it really does help to have a relationship with God, because it gives you something called faith. And every day you can wake up with faith that the Eternal Father, the Universal Father, is guiding you, has never harmed you, never will, always has your best in mind, always wants the best for you. And that you can have faith that you're doing the right thing. Why am I doing this? Because you might question in this in-between time. Maybe I want to turn back. Maybe I want to self-sabotage, ruin my life, go back to where I used to be. Well, you have faith in this relationship that you have with God. You have faith that your Eternal Father, your God, is shining that light for you. And all you have to do is follow it. You wake up every single day like a humble servant, and you follow it. Food for thought.